Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week NTEEP live training section. My name is Soline Sude, and I'll be your moderator for today. Today's session is titled Pitching and Storytelling for Startups, and our speaker today is Suzie Wokabi. Suzie is a founder of Suzie Beauty, Kenya's first local beauty brand, and a pioneer in African beauty. In 2024, she's launching a SB Dada, a beauty tech disruptor. She's now a CEO of Obal, a sustainable Kenya skincare brand, featured on global platform and with 36 award nomination for or wins. Suzie is a speaker, mentor, and judge on international panels, including the World Rental Award and Cospark Awards. Dubbed the Face of African Beauty by CNN, she championed women in business and African beauty. Without further delay, please let us come to over to you, Susie.
Hello.
Hi.
So glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Well, where do we start? Do I introduce myself? You said?
Yes. You can
Okay. So, you gave a pretty good introduction, but yes, my name is Suzie Wokabi. I'm hailing from Nairobi, Kenya,
Seems
and
Susie is
I
having a
am.
little network issues.
Sorry? Sorry?
Okay. While we wait on. Okay. Are you back? Welcome back.
I'm here.
Yeah, welcome back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So, should I give my own little introduction? Is what you're saying?
You can give just a little introduction. I've just given a little background about you.
Okay. Yes. So from Nairobi, Kenya, I have about 23 years of experience in the beauty industry. My background also, my college degree is in international relations, which is not quite beauty. So that's part of the journey because it still came into play. And when I moved back home, um, in 2007 to work in the beauty space as a media makeup artist. I found a gap in the retail cosmetic space, and that's when I created Kenya's first homegrown beauty brand called Suzie Beauty, and that's what I'm best known for. Since then, it's been a journey. There's been the brand was acquired. I created a second brand, and I'm now running a third brand that I'm not a founder of, which is a natural made in Kenya skincare line. Um, so there's been a lot of entrepreneurship experience. I can't say that I ever planned to be an entrepreneur, but here I am, and loving it with all the ups and downs that it has. So let's go.
Thank you. You can start the presentation now. Thank you so much. It's nice having you.
Thank you so much.
So you can go ahead with the presentation.
Okay, so like I said, I actually don't do well with physical presentations. They make me get lost, so I'm just going to speak. And we are talking about pitching and storytelling. Through my journey, I'll just give you very, very many examples of how important a story is. I learned, where did I learn this intrinsically? In my past life, when I was in the US for almost 10 years, I worked in fashion and beauty with very many different brands. And I think that's the beginning of me learning the importance of branding, the importance of stories, and the importance of how consumers choose to use what they use. in the very many different ones that I've worked with. I've also worked in, in apparel. I've worked in eyewear, a lot of eyewear, and then of course cosmetics. So each brand, there's a reason why somebody is attracted to that certain brand, and that is because of the story behind them. One of the greatest brands I worked for is called MAC Cosmetics. I think everybody knows it. And another one that I was related to is Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. Both of those had incredible stories to tell, and very inspirational for me to even be where I am today, because what, behind those brands were great stories. Bobbi Brown was a makeup artist who decided to make a lipstick because she was finding that what she had in the market was not working for her, and created one lipstick which was brown in color, and it
Seems
went.
Susie is having network issues.
Oh no, I don't have network issues. Can you see and hear me? Can you see and hear me? Oh, okay. I have network issues. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah, I
you.
can hear you. Okay, you had lost hearing me.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, hang on. I wasn't having any network issues, by the way. Um, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, and you can hear me well.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm so sorry about
Okay.
that.
No, it's okay. I don't know where I got which part I got lost at. Do you remember?
No, it seems like my network was really bad. So
Oh,
sorry.
okay, okay. Okay. Okay, so I was talking about where through my journey that I learned the importance of storytelling. Um, so one of my one of my actually inspirations and mentors is, I was talking about Bobbi Brown, which, her story is beautiful, and sort of stuck to me, and it's one of the reasons why I ended up where I ended up. She was a makeup artist and worked, with a lot of celebrities and that type of thing. Found a gap of, she needed the perfect lipstick. She created this one brown lipstick. That's it. And went viral and this is in the early 90s, by the way. There was no viral. But I mean, when, everyone wanted it, everyone needed it. And then 4 years later, Estee Lauder came and bought her out. Just because of that one great story. Another wonderful story, another of my inspirations is with MAC Cosmetics. Two men, Frank and Fred, actually called Frank and Frank. One was a photographer, one was a makeup artist, found the gap in the market where they couldn't get the correct cosmetics they needed. So they decided to create their own. MAC is what it is today. So, and I mean, what a beautiful story. And I think those were my inspirations in, you know what, one day I'll be like Frank and Frank, or I'll be like Bobby. And as I said, I was 10 years away in the US, a degree in international relations, which I never really did anything with, but I entered the fashion and beauty world, and I was in New York at the time, came back home to build the African beauty industry. That was what I wanted to do. Because also, I mean, you can imagine, I'm in New York, everything is everywhere, everyone has everything. Kenya, Africa, very small industry, very much potential, and then also my extreme passion. So that is also for sure part of the story, is just like how much I love the beauty industry. And I discovered my love for it when I entered it. I entered it even at a very low level, on a retail level. My first job was with Clinique Cosmetics. Um, Very good skincare, blah blah blah. Learned on the job, loved it. Didn't love working in retail. Went to work in the corporate side, and came back home with a bunch of experience, a great portfolio, and a suitcase full of makeup to work. And a year or two into it, I realized the gap that I needed to fill in the retail cosmetic space. Number one, all products that we had here in Kenya were imported. Barely any worked for our skin types, our skin textures. Um, we were just being sold wrong and way unaffordable. So those were three gaps that I wanted to fill with a product I was going to create, a brand I was going to create. So brand building came in there. Working with other brands, I did understand the importance of branding, creating a brand. The first thing I did was actually create the name, Suzie Beauty. I named it after myself for a reason, and I didn't know the reason then. I'll tell you the reason later. Immediately trademarked my that brand name as I registered the company, did all the legalities, and then thereafter created a product line that, because I'd made a good name for myself in the industry, working as a media makeup artist, I'm like, I'm going to make product for us for the first time. Let me do that, because we can't be working like with this. And so the want was there. This was also a time and space in our space where international brands didn't mean everything. I had, investors and, partners who were like, oh, they won't buy it because it's Kenyan. I'm like, no, they will buy it because it's Kenyan. And that's exactly what happened. And also, it was the right time and space. I struck while the iron was hot, because there was that movement of, we're African and we can and we should. So Suzie Beauty entered the market. I'm coasting over the 3 years that went into the making of the brand and the product. Uh, and then got the product into the market, huge uptake, because everyone was waiting eagerly. I created it for us. It worked perfectly. I did a whole year of testing, by the way, and I'm my first guinea pig. So, and I have sensitive skin, so that was important. So I knew even every model or every bride that's sitting in my chair, and I'm testing on them, I know it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt anyone. And yeah, got the brand into the market. 4 years into that, the brand got acquired by a bigger group, why did I even agree to that is because I needed the brand to go to soar. At that point, running a business is hard. I was an entrepreneur for the first time. I didn't understand the intricacies of that. I also never planned to be an entrepreneur. There's people who wake up in high school, they're like, I want to run my own business. I was never that person. So even just getting into the situation where I'm like, okay, I can try and do this was a whole personal looking into myself. Can I do this? Let me try. And I did. And of course, what kept me going was the passion for the beauty industry and the passion for the brand that I've created, this product I've created with so much love and care. But yeah, there were parts of the business that were hard to run and manage. So when the group came across to want to acquire the brand, it was a whole process of, this is my baby, it's my name. Am I willing to let somebody else own it? But ultimately, why did I do that is because it was for the greater good of the brand, and also for myself. I'd reached my limits, ability wise, resource wise, partner wise. I was ready, willing, and able to just let somebody come in to take us to the next level, right? And so that's all part of that story. So I started with two different stories before. To be here to be able to tell this story. And now even I'm going to say, oh, am I still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Able to so part of okay, and our topic is pitching and storytelling, right? Inside of
Yeah.
that pitching bit of it, um, when I started Suzie Beauty, it was all sort of on my own. My husband was a co-founder, sort of helping in the background. 3 years into doing it on my own, with our own resources and that, I knew I would need funding. So that's where that pitching story comes in. What are you pitching? What's the story? To be honest, investors, they like a good story. Everyone likes a good story. Have that good story to tell. But at the end of the day, when you're pitching, numbers actually mean more than the story. So that's why they even say in your pitch deck, the story is like page 1 and 2. The rest goes into the numbers, and even inside of the marketing plan, you're still talking numbers, and then you go into the financials. So, but storytelling is still important. You have to have a good, great story to tell. For me, Suzie Beauty was a really good story because, for the first time in Kenya, there's been other African beauty brands like South Africa and Nigeria, especially Tara. By the way, you know Tara. She's one of my good friends and idols. So those are people who I looked to, and then created my story, and the story continues to be created. This is what managed to get me my first round of funding, whereby for Suzie Beauty, yes, I told you, by year 3, I knew I needed a chunk of money in order to get the brand into the market. So it was a lot of investor pitches, pitch after pitch after pitch. What is the story? What are you selling? And for me, I was in a situation where I'm pre-revenue. I haven't sold a single product. All I have is a sample line to show. and my story. Having, yes, been in the beauty industry for some years, very helpful. Having, researched the market really well, helpful. Putting down the projections as well as I could, because all that is, it's all a lot of fiction. But the numbers have to show somewhere. So doing a lot of research, being the first homegrown brand, I had no benchmark. So there's no one, and like very little data. So even that's part of the story. Like I had to ask, I had to ask and ask and ask, realize there's too many gatekeepers. There's nobody who actually has real numbers. So even explaining why these are the numbers that I've come up with, again, part of the story. Managed to get two investment groups to just believe in me and the story. A lot of investors, and then the really nice ones, will invest in the entrepreneur in the story, especially if you don't have numbers to show, but I like real numbers. Institutions don't really listen to the story. They're like, how much have you sold, and what you want this for, what, and that's it. But good investors will listen to that. So pitching with a great story is very, very, very important. What's your why? Why did you do what you did? Why did you create what you created? Also, what have you done for yourself to show? You know what I mean? Like they don't want to do a lot of work. You have to have done a lot of groundwork. And again, that's still part of your story. And then just to put more of it into this. So my brand was acquired. I ran it under the new group for 5 years. The 5 years came up during COVID. I had by then defined my purpose. My purpose is to be an instrumental contributor to the growth of the African beauty industry. And I realized that sitting there petting Suzie Beauty's head under this new group was not the answer to this purpose. So even knowing why you're doing what you're doing. And through the years is when I came up with the real concrete realization and, part of the story. I realize now I need to depart from that relationship and go do more, because I also had a non-compete, so I couldn't do more in the industry apart from Suzie Beauty. So that's one of the main reasons why I was like, no, there's still too much to build in this lovely, growing, ever-growing African beauty industry. And so I decided to create a second brand. And this is based on our beautiful continent. Where do we sit? We're sitting in the youngest continent in the world. So the younger generation is the main consumer. Why don't I cater to this younger generation? So created a brand around the lovely Gen Zs and millennials. And I launched that last year. That story is one to tell as well, because I went into it with the mindset of, I have 13 years of experience and it should be so much easier. Guess what? It wasn't. It was as hard as could be. It was, it's a whole different landscape, all different players in the market 13 years later. As great as my concept has been and continues to be, of course, we're living in the digital revolution. So of course, we're trying to do as much online as possible. So let me make 70% of my sales online, and let me make makeup purchasable online from your phone, from Instagram, from our e-commerce and social commerce. Let me create a brand around what the kids really like. I call them the kids. Did the research, did all the right things. Partnerships are a whole nother ball game, because getting the right people around you when you need them, um, very vital. So even inside of there, after 13 years of experience, still struggled with that. Had a few divorces along the way, which seemed seamless, made the most sense when I was, signing on people. No, many of them did not work out. So and this new brand is called SB Dada. Dada in Swahili means sister. So pretend Suzie Beauty's baby sister, because that's also, part of that brand story. It's like, she has a bigger sister, and then this is young and fun and trendy and cute, for us, the younger generation. So yeah, that was another journey, and still part of my story. um yeah, in 2023 I was trying to fundraise. I've done this before, thinking it will be so much easier with all my experience. No, the worst year of fundraising was 2023. I think it goes down in history, and that's where I was sitting. What do? We keep pivoting, change around a few things, study the market further, did more focus groups. What can I decrease the line into in order to launch? You're sitting in a market, looking for investors, with people who are in there, millions of people looking for funding, and they have 5 years of experience, 3 years of of traction, sorry, not experience, traction. They've sold these many things this year. This year is better. Da da da. Yeah, then you can talk about getting money. When I'm sitting there talking about, oh no, I'm not a startup, but this is a startup, and we'll get it into a market because we've done this before. And they're like, okay, how much have you sold off this brand? I'm like, no, nothing yet, but I will once I get the money. So that was a tough one. That was a tough one to take, and you have to take the punches and roll with them, right? And then as I continued to slowly figure this out, I managed, yes, to get a little bit of product into the market. There's a bit of traction now, and now we can start to pitch better. Okay. Late last year, I got recruited. I also collaborate with other beauty brands. I say I don't have competition. I have collaborators. So I've helped many competitors with their brands, because I just want us to be together growing the industry. Again, purpose. So I got sort of recruited into a different brand, a made in Kenya natural plant-based skincare line called Obao. And they asked me to, help them figure out market penetration and this and that. And those are my strengths. And I'm like, you know what? As this naughty girl is sitting in her corner being slow motion, yeah, let me invest my time in this. And since then, that's what I've actually been working on. So I have 3 brands sitting under me, that I'm growing. And like you said, so I love that CNN called me the face of African beauty, because I want to live up to that name as well. And that's a big part of the story. And so that's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can ask me some questions. Maybe you can ask me some questions. What gaps I might have left out, because I've told this story with, I left out a bunch of gaps. So let's see what I might throw in, or what you can help me with.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Susie.
much. No.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful story. I must say, I love your story. I
Thank
love your
you.
story. So inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope to inspire. That's one of the many hats I wear, is mentorship as well. And that's why I'm here. That's why I would do something like this, is hoping to inspire. There's nothing easy about the journey, but it's possible and it's doable, and we're here. Look at us, everybody here.
Thank you so much. I'll be reading out some questions from the. in the live chat, if you don't mind. Okay, we have a question from Patrick. So a very interesting topic. My question is, what are the key elements of a successful startup pitch? And what strategies can one use to pitch for investments?
Key
Can
elements.
you hear
Say the first part is
key
key
elements of
elements.
successful startup pitch? And what strategies can one use to pitch for investments?
Mm, that's a very good question, and uh, it's not a hard question to answer. But then um, I've had so many different situations. Let me try and answer that most helpfully. So one, uh, getting the correct, like, get a good pitch deck. Okay, of course. Now, what does that entail? If you've never done it before, I would suggest um, get somebody who's strong in that, somebody who's done it before, to help you put it together. Um, this is the day and age where there's so many resources. Um, so on your deck, in your initial deck, make sure it's not very hefty, not too many pages, um, a lot of bullet points. People don't have time. They don't have mental space and time to sit through 52-page business plans and that type of thing. Your business plan is a good thing for you to have, and keep it there, create it, and that helps you also work through the business from the beginning. For the deck itself, it actually should not be more than like 8 pages. The big, like, and you have the clear topics, why, okay, the company, the structure of the company, let's say, um what are you what are you trying to help the market with, what problem are you solving, let's say. And then of course you have to have your marketing area. What is your market plan to get to market, your strategy. Then financials are very important, and it might be 3 of the 8 slides. And then that's all they have sort of enough attention for. And that those first 2 pages should have your strong story. Find the right points, the most, like, the points that will be most attention grabbing and most interesting, because those 2 pages, yeah, they have to be tell your story very quickly and very hard. Yes, and then have at least like 3 pages of numbers. That would be the ideal pitch deck. That's also and also how it looks is important, right? Like, and there's so many good pitch deck creators now, even people who'll edit it for you. So just have your information very correct, and then very concise, and then in those 8 pages, 8 to 10. 10 is even pushing it.
All right. Thank you so much for the answer. We have another question from Fafana. He said, is it advisable to put your own experience in a company's experience as a founder?
Please repeat.
Is it advisable to put your own experience in the company's experience as the founder?
That is ideal. You know what I mean? What it is, why are you doing this business? Because you maybe hopefully have experience in the particular industry. You're not coming from left field to start something from scratch in something you have no idea about. So experience is quite ideal, quite ideal. You'll find very rare situations where a founder has no background in that experience. I do have a friend who has a very successful business in fashion, and she had no fashion experience. But that is few and far between, very few. So me having 10 years 12 years in the beauty industry before I launched a brand was very, very important for me. And also, this makes it lends to some authenticity. It helps the investors who are even looking at you or your partners get, of course, a big comfort level. So yes, it's I would say for sure yes, and you know why 90. What is the statistic? I think it's 93% of startups fail in the first year. It's because you started a business because Susie looks like she's successful. So me with my finance background, let me start a beauty line. And I had with zero interest in the beauty industry, without no passion for it, with no experience in it. That's not helpful. Or and that's where the copycat challenge comes in, because you've started something because someone looks like they know what they're doing, but you have to. I feel like my answer is a yes. Ideal for you to have experience before you go into, and also again for the partners to be to have that comfort level and that confidence in you.
Okay, thank you so much. I have another question. It says, the storytelling like teaching, do you start with the story or introduce it yourself? What is the best approach?
Do you start with talking about
Do you start with
brand
the
or
story or introducing yourself? The
okay? Oh, like
storytelling wise, do you start
well,
with the story or introducing yourself?
the story better have you as part of the introduction. So you must be part of the story, right? So that's like I talked about that eight page deck. Those 2 pages, you must be in there as a founder, part of the story. Yeah, so it's a 2 in 1.
Okay, thank you. Mm. Okay, someone asks, Steven asks, where can I find investors for startups with MVP but with little or no traction?
I'm not hearing you well. There's a lot of I don't know. It's an echo.
I'm so sorry about that. I
Okay.
said, where can I find investors for the startup with MVP but with little or no traction?
Okay, I've heard MVP.
Yes.
Where you see that on chat? If I go on the chat,
Yeah, on the comment.
um, okay, no, I'm not seeing it in the chat. Or maybe you can write it out
From
for me.
Steven Anthony.
Okay, where do I find for a startup with MVP little or no traction? Yeah, so now that's where it sort of goes to, you do have an MVP, yeah? Um, Now, you know what they say is the first thing is friends and family, F and F. If you don't have available friends and family who listen to you, those are the first people who should actually listen to you. In order for you to go to get the sorry, 1 second. In order for you to get the bigger investors, you have to start off with what you have, yeah, which is usually friends and family. So that's also what can help you get a little bit of traction in order to get to the bigger investors, the bigger funds you might need. Um, Depending on your resources, like if you have a good banker, and they can help you start off. So even if I'll give you an example. I was trying to raise $200,000 for my new brand, but in order for that to happen, it was just not clicking, yeah, because it's a huge chunk of money, and people are not liquid, this and that. It's a bad fundraising year, all that. So managed to get a small amount. I mean, was it like even $20,000 in order to get a small amount of product to show the sale, to show bank movement, and then now be able to start pitching to the bigger ones.
Okay, thank you so much for that. My voice is really echoing. I think the questions will be posted in the screen for you to read out.
Okay. The difference between a business plan and a pitch deck. Yeah. When is a business plan needed, and also the pitch deck? Okay. So business plan is literally a plan. Like I have a business plan with 50 pages, 50 pages long. And it's the beginning. It's for you to put down what your plan is. What's in your head, put it on paper. Very helpful, because even as you now create the pitch deck and anything else, you can read off the plan that you had. And that plan can keep changing. It's okay. And it's for you. It's mainly for you. Some investors might want to see that plan. They will never read through those 50 pages. They'll skim through. That deck is what you're presenting. It's for presenting in those, 20 minutes that you have. You can't present a 50-page business plan in the 10 to 15 minutes that investor has attention for. So you have to be really strict about differentiating the two. Your business plan will lend to the deck those bullet points that you need and those 8 to 10 pages that you need. But the business plan is important for you to keep on referring to. Even as you keep on planning, things change, your product line changes, this and that. I've changed mine so many times, but it's so good to read back into what I wanted and what the reality is, maybe even, and keep editing it, and it really helps you be able to continue to materialize the business. Or starting a brand, is it a must to have a team? Because in some part of the deck, you're required to include your team members. As a complete startup, unless you have maybe a co-founder or somebody that's your right-hand person, it's not an impressive thing to be like, oh, I have these employees. How can you even, as a startup, how are you even affording them? What are you paying them, and where are you paying them from if you're starting up? To be honest, a startup entrepreneur is the team. For Suzie Beauty, I did everything from, I was the product creator, the founder, the product creator, the marketer, the delivery person, the cleaner, the finance person, the accountant. So as a startup, it's good to also have your fingers in everything, so that even when you get to the place where you are hiring the real team, you know what you're hiring for because you've been there. So it's not an impressive thing that to show an investor, oh, look, I have a team. Maybe what you can add in there is like an advisory board. and you can put some influential people maybe who have advised you or helped you. I've done that for many people. And just even, yeah, it gives a bit of clout if you have like some prominent names or something, just somebody with a lot of experience who's your finance advisor, somebody with great experience who's your, logistics advisor, something, but yeah, having the team is a team. You're the main team. If you're lucky enough to have a team really early in the stages, put it down. But I don't think that's a huge selling point, and it's not going to decrease your, uh, what do you say, them being interested in you. It's you and your business first. Yeah. How do I make a pitch to be understood by different investors across the board, since most come with fixed minds? It's very difficult to make them understand a unique pioneering idea. Yeah. So that is the storytelling. That is the definition of storytelling. Um, and also, don't please make sure. I mean, please be sure to understand that this investor and that investor are very different. Um, One might be listening to you, and he knows for sure he'll never be interested in investing in the beauty industry, never be interested in investing in, your fintech, whatever it is. So even you know that you can scope them out. You don't have to pitch to everyone. You need to also get the right investor who is going to be interested in you and your business. There's ones that pretend to be interested, and then you're wasting your time and effort and mind space on somebody who for sure will never, and they probably know it. So you, as a founder, and you know your business well, you scope them out as well, and know that you have the right to do that, and the ability to do that. You don't have to pitch to everyone. Yeah. What are the key elements of a successful startup pitch, and what strategies can one use to pitch for investment? Yeah, so I think I've said this. Um, a good pitch deck is important. Um, from the content to how it even looks, people are creating such high tech looking pitch decks. It's even scary. So you have to keep up with the times, like get a good looking one as well. But the content, of course, is king. Um, Again, an introduction into yourself and the brand and the company is important. Is important to start off with, and then the sections should be product, marketing, and finance. So introduction into brand and whatever you've created. Marketing is important, and like sort of what's your plan to enter the market, and inside of there comes, you have to have analyzed your competitors, have a marketing strategy. But these are all bullet points. Yeah, do as many, like what are they called? The hierarchy sheets of things, so that their attention is kept, and it's not so wordy. Okay. And then there's so marketing, uh and then and finance is important. Is there a department I've left out? Yeah, no. Brand, product, marketing, finance. How do you put your story out there? What should an attractive story look like? Um you have the privilege of living in the digital revolution. Social media is your friend. Online is your friend. Getting your story out is a chat GPT away to finesse it, and then put it out on socials. Put it out on. Maybe be brave enough to have articles written about you. Use that even in your storytelling. Put that in your clout and your resume. Um, media friends might be able to put it out and write it in a smoother way than you can, because not everyone's a writer, not everyone's an author. Yeah, just document your story, even if it's not in reality yet. This is what I plan to do. And don't be afraid of people. Startups get afraid of saying too much because somebody might steal their idea. Everyone has ideas. If it's yours, they can't take it away from you. If it's from your heart, nobody owns it like you do. So you're the only one who can tell it best. So tell it in your own way, and use the online space as much as you can, because you can. There's a time and place that we didn't have. We used to have to bank on traditional media, which does not even exist anymore. So building a product. How do I get co-founders who will be interested in this solution we are building? How do I protect my IP rights for this product we are building? So good question. Okay, when you're saying co-founder, you might need to define what that actually means to you. A co-founder, sat together and founded the thing together. That's what makes it co. If you're looking for just a partner to come and join your idea in a certain area that they have more expertise in, that's different from a co-founder. Right? You don't have to co-found. You can have partners. And protecting your IP is really important. I don't know where you're from, but here in Kenya, like the first thing I did when I started my first brand, Suzie Beauty, was go and trademark it. Whereby, when I was selling the brand 4 years later, that's what they bought. They bought the trademark. I couldn't have got the funds I got without the trademark. They'd have just bought the product for a little bit of money, give up my brand, move on, but never be able to use that name again. But the trademark is very important. If you have a proprietary product, there's a different part of that. So trademarking is for the actual brand, where you see that little R with a circle. Patenting is different. If you created something that exists before, this is a torch, but you've done a thing to it that's made it completely outstanding. That's different. It will more like a utility model. You didn't invent torches, but you made something so special that made that torch, different. So your intellectual property body, from wherever you're from, can also advise you on that, or a good international intellectual property lawyer can help you with that. I found, like, the IP lawyers, I mean, they charge a lot. They charge a lot of money. I just go straight to the body. Ours is called Kenya Intellectual Property Institute, the institute. Go directly to them. The lawyers who are charging me 80,000 to 100,000 shillings for 12,000 shillings, I got it done directly with the institute. So even you just investigating that on your own, depending, and yeah. So I'm assuming it's a product that you're creating. So a service, I don't think you can really. But yeah, a good depending on your region or whatever, a good IP lawyer can also advise you Yeah.
Alright. I think that will be the last question for today. Thank you so much, Susie. I really learned a lot from you. It's so nice having you. Thank you so much. I'm not hearing you. Is that just me?
No, oh, thank you so much. It was good being here. And I hope I saw a lot of comments, and thank you so much for the interest, and
They really
good luck.
enjoyed it.
I wish everyone luck. Entrepreneurship is not an easy journey, and you are brave to be here. This is, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. So kudos and keep going. Don't give up.
Okay. Thank you so much, our amazing speaker. And to all the viewers for joining us in today's section. Before we end, please take note of your attendance. It's very, very important. The attendance link will be posted in the description box. Please take note of it. It only takes a few minutes to sign it. So our special appreciation goes to Nephro Technology, Spirit Touch Ministry TV, the Mary Ben Foundation, Love 8, Ashley, Good to Soft, Law Survey, Eco Kaya, Women Nice, Easy Equities, and many more. Thank you so much. Please make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, on NTEEP, X, formerly known as Twitter, and on NTEEP, LinkedIn and at NTEEP, Instagram at NTEEP Connect. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do have a nice day. Bye.